If you're a fan of the Sly Guy podcast and you think just getting a wee injection of me once a week is not enough, you can head to patreon.com where you can get the bonus content, all the bonus content, the extra Sly Guy podcast, early release episode of the weekly podcast, the ad-free version as well, which is there, which is just a treat for anyone that just likes to not listen to this part of the show every week. And you also get a guest episode every Friday. We've had some great guests recently. We had Big Damo, aka Killian Dane, on last week, with Janet Devlin on a couple of weeks ago, with Hannah Bichkowski from The Traders. It's just a fun time, and it's all over there at www.patreon.com/Sly Guy podcast. As well as that, you get bonus content including vlogs, early access to tickets, show releases, live podcast releases being mentioned soon, very soon maybe, with guests that might be on this episode, who knows. What we do know is it's going to be a fun time, and it's all available at patreon.com/Sly Guy podcast. The Sly Guy podcast is always brought to you in association with Modest Beer. As we know it by now, Modest don't boast. They are modest, they are humble, and they are delicious. And if you want to know more about Modest Beer, what beers they've got, what merch they've got, when they're releasing new beers, whatever, all the goss you can get with a brews letter at modestbeer.co.uk. You can find out all the different types of beer they have, and you can purchase merch through there. Wow, it's amazing. That's technology. That's what we're dealing with. As well as that, if you want to follow them on socials just to give them support and see what they're at, follow them at Modest Beer. It makes sense. Guys, do you want to get sexual this February? Do you want to get sexual for Valentine's Day? Because if you want to get sexual and you want your wife, husband, boyfriend, girlfriend, significant other, Netflix and chill buddy, something sexy for Valentine's Day, buy them a ticket to the live podcast that we're doing at the Riverside studio. It's myself, Paddy McDonald, Aaron Butler doing a live podcast at the Riverside Theatre in Coleraine. The tickets are available via the link in the bio. It's a non-sanctioned podcast, which means it's not Sly Guy, it's not Mudblood, it's not Cork in the North. It's just going to be a sexual episode. 3 guys having a fun time in and around Valentine's Day. There'll probably be chocolates filled with like strawberry nougat and stuff. It'll be that sexual, and roses, as in the actual roses, not the box of roses, which would also be sexual, but you know what I mean. It's going to happen in a couple of weeks. The ticket link is in the bio. There's not a lot of tickets left. It's going to be a real good sexual time, so look forward to that. Alright,
I'm the Sly Guy.
hello and welcome to the Sly Guy podcast. Whoa, we're back again with another guest episode, and you know what, this guest he's my favourite guest. He is friend of the show, frequent collaborator, man, myth, legend, Psychic Glenn. He's back again this week. We're having a lot of fun. We're talking about crystals, we're talking about cream, we're talking about damaged anuses, we're talking about Rihanna. Anything you can imagine, we're talking about on the podcast. As always, Glenn is a hoot. It's great to catch up with him. It's always great to see him. I love Psychic Glenn, and I know you'll love him too. So guys, I hope you enjoy this week's episode of the Sly Guy podcast with me and Psychic Glenn.
I can see myself through these eyes, not I.
And that one. Oh, am I in shot now too, Glenn? Let me see.
Now, last night, I went down to see your wife.
Okay.
She stuck it in me. And I heard you were outside and didn't even come in to see me.
I had too many children last night to look after, unfortunately.
He's daddy daycare now.
No, because now my wife's a business boss bitch.
Yes.
She's out working, getting the money, and I'm kind of just looking after the kids. It's kind
yes.
of how we do it now. And that's where we're at. So, so yeah, I didn't even get because that was in double yellows, Glenn.
Dave Shaffarley done it good.
Yeah.
Shaffarley stuck it in good, yep.
Because you've had it before, haven't you?
I've been getting it from I was 25, Dave. But as
how
you
did she compare for sticking it in?
Well, I'll not know for a couple of weeks, but no, she was good. She just...
Yeah. Could you tell she's a nurse and she's stuck it in people before?
Well, yeah. Yeah, she's got that nursery vibe about her.
Yeah, so she was doing... I don't know how to...
Well, I think it could have been the scrubs, give it away, but...
Yeah, before she was wearing, like, just underwear and a dress, I think. So I think she wanted to look a bit smarter.
And why have you not let her...
Because I've got too much meat in my head, Glenn. I don't have any... I'm wrinkle-free.
You're always like...
Yeah. Do you think I should let her?
Just a wee bit.
But what if I look just not like myself?
You'll not.
But you know what?
See, I don't like the frozen look. I like to be...
How would you describe that look?
Shocked.
shocked.
And a wee bit of Ulster Scots.
But you like the
in there.
move. You like the bit of movement about you too, though. You like to be like what's the word? Expressive.
I have been frozen before, like, but I don't like fillers or anything. I don't. It's just a wee bit of Botox and threads. I like threads.
Threads look sore though, don't they?
Threads are aching. Oh, they're aching, but they're great. Women have been working for needle and threads for years. Years. So I trust it.
But I feel like in my line of work, Glenn, if I were to get myself all beautified, people might be like, oh, I can't take a piss out of himself anymore. He's too much of a...
Well, what about Shane?
What's the word? A spice boy? Yeah, but Shane, if you look at Shane in isolation, like, compared to normal people, he's just a normal looking lad. But when you compare him to all the other comedians, he looks gorgeous. Which is the thing, you know?
I think it's all structured that way.
What do you mean? Do you think he's had work?
No, I think he picks all the other ones that are not as beautiful as him or not as posh as him.
Well, I mean...
So I know a secret, he doesn't even live in County Down.
Well, he does, but that's not... We'll not say that here, Glenn.
Dave does not get out of County Down. The bird does not leave its natural habitat.
No, it's it. Exactly. And I am a bear, aren't I? I'm a lot of bear in a lot of
Sexy, Bernie, sexy in that suit too.
Thank you. Do you like that suit, did
I
you?
love the suit, yes. You need to start making more of an effort, gangster suits.
But then again, if I put a suit on, it looks like I'm in trouble.
I
You
know.
what I mean? It looks like I'm going
We
to
thought
court.
you were all going to court, you see.
No, it was actually just a nice... to be honest with you, Glenn, for any of those that hadn't seen, is referring to a photo that I popped on Instagram yesterday where I was wearing a suit to talk about deadline day. The actual true fact about that is a few years ago, I just put a shirt and tie and a suit on to take that photo to make a joke about deadline day. That's how pathetic it was. Because that's what happens sometimes. You make effort for your socials, don't you?
You definitely do. You do. You like to dress up. And
Speaking of a person that makes effort for the socials, this guy is one of the only people I think I know who, when I woke up this morning, Catherine was like, don't forget Glenn's ring light. He said to me.
Yes.
Because Glenn's a guy, will travel, but will bring your own ring light. I like that.
Well, I actually kind of left it down there for her, but she had one there.
Yeah, because she took mine.
See now.
See?
But
But
you got to have a ring light.
you have you have a big ring light and you have a small ring light, don't you?
Yeah, I've
Your
got a
phone
few.
one. That's the one that I'd never seen a phone.
I don't
one
have
before.
a phone one with me today. It's handy though. You just clip it on the top of your phone.
Because the first time we met, that's when you whipped that out for
I
a
know.
selfie. And now you don't.
I know that was a year ago.
Yeah.
1 full year of podcasts.
There you go. And how has the year of podcast been for you?
David's been great. Honest to God, it has been great because see, when you're reading all the time, it drains the life out of you. But see, to be able to have a laugh and a giggle and be yourself,
Yes.
it's very good fun.
No, it is. Because I didn't realise it was a full year until you told me. And then whenever I put the picture up today of today's podcast, I got a wee picture of you and popped it together. That was the time we had you in.
Yeah.
And you do look different, don't
Do
you?
I?
Yeah.
Maybe more happier.
Happier now or then?
Happier now.
Good. I think, you know what I think it is? The beard's more rugged and bigger.
Yes, it's more full.
See, I've got mine full too. Catherine told me off about this. She said
No,
your
keep
beard's
the
too.
beard. It's
I'm
a good
trying
muff tickler, if all else. It's good for a face set. Know what I mean? Not that I know.
Yeah. Is that a
I've
thing,
not
is
been
it?
near a combine harvester yet.
What does that mean, to trim or to
Well,
a woman?
somebody phones up and goes, Glenn, I'm ringing up about the combine harvester. And I says, well, I don't have a wife.
Uh-huh.
What are you talking about?
Right, okay.
No way the harvest seats.
I see. See, that's is that, what's the word called?
Vitality.
No,
Why I've got
when
it.
you're in the circle, what's it called? Your circle of, like, I don't know what's it called, the circle of psychics and mediums and things. What's
Like a
that called?
development circle.
No, it's like what they call a coven of what? Like it's
Like a coven of witches.
of which, like within your wee circle, a harvester would be a thing too. I think a regular person like myself, I just thought a harvester was like.
No, women harvest seeds. They do.
Well, I know that now,
Yeah.
and the seed being the.
It's remarkable how they do it, really. It's funny how mankind's never even asked, love, how do you do that?
But no one knows.
They're
Glenn.
too busy
It is.
looking at their titties.
Well, that's what they're there for, isn't it? And to feed off.
No,
So,
but what if they're missing the real magic?
I don't know what you mean by that.
Well, they're hard. You popped out of a doubt. Hello?
Yeah.
And nobody's asked any questions.
Well, that's what scientists do.
The rest of you are trying to get back in.
But no, they figured that out, obviously, because that's how they know what happens. Like in cavemen's days, they were just.
No, but
bumping
we've never
uglies.
sat down to ask the girls hi and why.
But the girls might know because they're not. Maybe if they're not scientists, they don't know. There's some girls that just keep having kids and don't
Know
know how
their
they
body.
they keep doing it, Glenn. They're like, I've got 12 of these. What's happening here?
I know. Imagine.
There was a woman I once knew many moons ago in work, and she was having her 11th and 12th child at the time I was
Did they
having
have a
Holly.
TV in the house?
I don't think so. But what they did have was two adjoining houses beside each other, and her eldest daughter looked after the youngest kids, and she was in the other house next door looking after the older ones.
Fuck, it's a conveyor belt.
Yeah, but fair play to her. But one thing I will say, see, whenever we went to community meeting, and she was making cups of tea, and she had one of those. Have you seen those super teapots with like 5 spouts on them?
Yeah.
She was able to she was a master at that. Unbelievable. I'd never seen anything like it.
Multi-talented. You're going to have the wee boy soon.
I'm not. I think we're done. I think I'm
Because
just gonna.
she needs a golden egg.
And what? And is a boy a golden egg?
A boy's a golden egg.
But I've heard a lot of boys are arseholes. The raised like young kid boys are
I know,
nightmares.
but Catherine needs it.
I would say, on good authority, if she was here and we asked her, she would say no, she absolutely doesn't.
Wee boy's different. Wee boy needs a mother.
But you know what? But then, do wee girls need a father?
Yes.
So what I'm saying to you now is, right, now Catherine's busy, working a full-time job with her own business on the side. I'm just the housewife guy, you know? So that's the way it's
The Real House Husbands of County Down.
That'd be a good show, but there was
It
be no
would.
housewife, it'd be no house husbands, it'd just be all housewives and me,
Yep.
which would be interesting.
You could always get Dion on. She's
She's not from County Down. She's
a
a
wife.
Derryite. Gross.
She's
Get
a
her
wife,
away.
isn't she?
But you can't be from. Listen. We can't just let any riffraff in, Glenn.
No.
Come on.
No.
You know.
Couldn't have that squawking going on.
Because you know, see, whenever you first came to do the podcast a year ago, I told the border guards at the North Down border to let him in. I said, "Listen, this is a license plate.
Guildhall.
Scan him through. He's allowed to come in." So I have to vet everyone's allowed in.
Vet everybody?
Yeah, and that's the way we go. So
What is the vetting process?
I have to be a fan of your work, and I have to understand that you're gonna bring betterment to North Down. You're not gonna come in like see the people that come on the trains in the summer and just go and drink and piss on the beaches and wreck a place, have fights. They're not allowed in.
Well, I went on a date recently, Dave, as you know. The wee fella was beautiful, absolutely stunning. 29, but stunning. Too young for me, but stunning. From County Down. And I says to him, God, you are very, very posh. I says, you remind me of my friend Ashley. I says, she's a wee delicate thing. She's a business owner, but she's feisty, but she's very posh, and I love her. And he was like, I'm from an estate.
He's what?
He was from an estate, but in a Bangor accent.
No, he means probably a country estate, Glenn.
No.
The
I think
outside of
it's like
country estate.
Kilcooly or somewhere.
The K Ranch. Fair play to him.
You know what I mean?
Do you think you?
I did a wedding for a couple down there when I was a photographer many years ago, and we went to Carrick Castle to do it, and there was something going on that day, and in the photograph, they had it so that they're pointing machine guns at each other, and they were from Kilcooly Estate, and it was a brilliant wedding, and they're still together, they're a lovely couple. But I must actually show you that photograph.
And was there potentially any kind of
Sort of paramilitary loyalist, sort of.
Huh?
Well, I think at the wedding, yes, but I mean,
all I'm going to say is if you're getting your wedding photographs and you're pointing machine
they were
guns at
laughing and all in it. It just came about that way, and it was probably one of the best photographs I've ever taken, to be honest. I mean, think about it. If you're going to sign your life away, you may as well have a joke about it and go, who's going to shoot who first, you
Did
know?
they have balaclavas on?
No. That would have ruined her hair.
Fair point. What about him? Did he have her?
Yeah, he did have a wee bit of hair, like I.
Too.
Oh, I know all about that Kilcooly Estate.
Oh dear. Why? It sounds like you've got bad history there.
No, it's just a wee bit. It could be a wee bit rough, can't it?
Okay, any estate can be rough,
You know what I
Glenn.
mean? And if you're not in with the boys in the snooker hall, sure, you're fucked.
Listen. That's the same anywhere. Kilcooly is a good estate in a good part of the world.
Something you
Full of good people. Yes. Well, we're on the outskirts by the beach
See.
of Kilcooly. So.
Bangor is, but I hear it's now city status.
Correct. And where did I?
And what does it mean for the people of Bangor now that you're a city?
Well, all I'm going to say, Glenn, I moved there 6 years ago, and weirdly now it's a city. So,
Dave, you're one of the reasons why
Coincidence?
Bangor
I
is
don't
starting
know.
to be up and coming.
You know, I feel like it is. And then obviously the courthouse opened, which is a brilliant performance space. Weird that I moved there and they're like, shit, Dave Elliott's here, we need a bespoke performance space for him. Let's do it. And there we go. So, I mean, the city status, I believe what it does is just...
What I want to know is, who is the mayor of Bangor?
Who is the mayor of Bangor? I don't know, because I'm the king of North Down, that's as far as I look. So let me go and have
They're
a
doing
look.
it on the cheap, but you see,
Mayor.
have no institution at all. We need an alderman,
Well,
at least.
there have been aldermen, I'm pretty sure. Mayor of Bangor, County Down. I would hazard to guess it is a member of the UUP. Let me see, or the DUP. Karen Douglas is the new mayor, and she's in the UUP. Or no, she's not in the UUP. I could get sacked for that. Let me see.
Well done, Karen. Welcome to the job.
Alliance Party, fair play.
Don't be
There
a
we go.
Karen about it all. Right? Bangor ready as a Karen.
Oh, what does that mean?
It means, we're from Bangor.
Oh, look at you, ghetto man over here. I'm the hard Belfast lad.
The only
What are you
person
on
ever
about?
mentioned I was from North Belfast is Paddy McDonnell, and I think that's because he is like a Jim McDonnell type character. He just says that. He's like, you're from Ballysalon, aren't you? He's like, aye.
Yeah. Oh, but that's the way some Belfast ones are, aren't they?
I know.
They split it up.
Aye, we all know where we're all from, kind of, Belfast.
Are you throwing shade at me this morning, Glenn? It's only 5 to 10.
You didn't come to me last night.
I know, because
he was going to come. He says, what time are you there? I'll try and pop in.
I know, but I couldn't get a babysitter. What would you rather me do? Say to my wife, no, you stay at
Brought
home.
the children in.
You stay at home and you wash the clothes. So are my children.
Let them see the girl work. Let them see what mommy's doing.
Can you imagine my Matilda near those needles? No, dangerous. But you know what we'll do? Next time I'll bring them, and whenever. Do you know why I didn't, honestly? Because Catherine told me she did not want the girls up there because it would be a distraction and they'd be badly behaved and look unprofessional.
The would. But it'd be good for them to see her like that and all, see what she's doing, because they're nosy.
Well, Holly would be okay.
I know, but you can't. This is what's wrong with Matilda at the minute. It's Holly, and I love wee Holly, but Matilda's like, oh, everything Holly gets the first. I don't even want. You need a wee day. You take her out for coffee.
I do.
And go right.
I take her out all the time.
Love. I know you're the youngest, but it doesn't mean that you're going to be the baby forever.
Well, I go out all the time with her, actually, because Holly's always at school. So me and her are hanging all the time.
Good.
And see, at the time you were there, just so happened to be just before bath and bedtime.
I seen her bashing that gate down. It was funny.
Yeah, exactly. And then she'd be doing more than bash a gate down if she's in a clinic. Glenn. It'd be terrible.
You just have to let them be. You do, girls. You have to let them be, honestly.
I know. Is what you're trying to say there, I should leave?
Not leave, but when she says, Daddy, do it that way, then do it that way.
That's how I do it. It's called getting an easy life, Glenn.
Well, if you want to give them an easy life, you'll just get your wallet out. You'll give them anything they want.
Good luck.
Anything to just stave them off, son. That's all you have to do. Don't work, sugar. Pavlova's work. I bring my nanny and my granny and all in a Pavlova.
But you
works every single time.
I can't win with you, because the very first time a year ago we met, you told me to lay off the sugar.
Not you, them. Them, the kids.
But you know how it works, Glenn. Sometimes they'll eat a bit of it. They can't eat it all. You don't want to go to waste because the kids in Africa, and you eat a bit yourself. Bish, bash, bosh.
I know.
Problems.
Pavlovas are lovely, but...
Speaking of, actually, I took...
See, if you've got a mother-in-law at home that you sort of wish was dead, take her to be Pavlova. It'll appeal to the wee granny in her.
Is that a life hack?
It's a life hack, yeah. That is actually a life hack. It really is.
Because I have a life hack.
See, if you want to make the mother-in-law like you, bring a Pavlova. There's something about Pavlovas. I think I learned that from my nanny because she loves Pavlova. And I don't know, there's something about Pavlovas and old women and geese that are all connected.
That's like old women are like...
Yeah. Do you ever go into caravans and see, but years ago you did seen that net and stuff and it was a geese on it?
There you go.
You know what I mean?
Is that why every time you're like in a bakery you see the old women just salivating over Pavlovas because they're like Pavlova's dogs?
Yeah, they love sugar, you see. Love it.
Old women specifically?
I brought my
just
friend
pensioners?
Marie one in and she ate the whole fucking thing.
How old is she?
Well, she's only 50, like, but she ate the whole thing.
She ate it right up.
She ate it, the whole lot with a big spoon. She couldn't put it down.
Did you not share it any with you?
Well, I had a wee bit of it, like, but I can only eat a wee corner, that's me.
You only have a small
It's too creamy for me, you see. It's awful heavy for my palate.
You gluten intolerant or something? Yeah.
No, it's just all too much cream.
You don't like too much cream, no?
Cat that gets the cream is not a good thing, really, is it?
It's a fat cat like Garfield, isn't it?
No. Cats are good beans, but Marie actually had a dream before that the dog was chasing the cat and got the cat by the throat. Got the cat right by the throat. And after that I had a big mad awakening then too.
And what do you look much into dreams, actually? That's something we've not spoken about yet.
Sometimes. Like I had a dream the other day that we were all out somewhere, me and my family, you know, and they would not acknowledge me, they wouldn't even look at me, and I don't know where we were, and it was like I was talking to myself. It was weird. But I know it's just all nerves about all this, everything that's happening soon, and having to have them there.
Yeah,
things.
for support.
Yes.
Because they always say, don't they, that if you dream about your teeth falling out, you're stressed out about something.
Means you're losing friends. Means you're like, for example, my little friend, who I went on the date with, I'm not going to mention your name, gorgeous, don't worry, had a dream, oh my God, my teeth falling out. I says, listen, it means you're going to lose something, going to lose friends. And a week later, Flyby went bust. And a week later, he lost his job, boom. You know, the dream is symbolic of losing something that you love. It is.
Let me talk to you about a dream that I had recently. I had a dream recently that I was doing a gig, came off stage, walked into the dressing room. Rihanna was there. She's getting ready to do her own gig, you see, in the same venue, Limelight. And she was like, listen, would you eat my ass right now? And I said to her, Rihanna, I can't. I'm married and with 2 kids. So.
It always happens in the dream. You'll get right up to the ass and then you'll wake up.
But no, she was there right over and bent over and was like and I was like, listen, cheers, and I left. And then I woke up.
Have you ever had a wet dream, Dave?
Oh, but I'll get back to this first. And I woke up and I woke Catherine to tell her Rihanna tried it on me.
Yeah.
And she was like, no, she didn't. I was like, she did. And I said no, because I love you. And you know what she said to me? Do you fancy Rihanna? And I was like, well, that's not the point of the story. The point is, you know, she offered me her booty, and I said...
There was an act of indiscretion there, and you declined it.
Yeah, so that was my point. And she ended up getting cross with me because apparently I like bums and Rihanna, and she didn't know that.
You need to eat her ass then.
There you go. That's the interpretation. Why don't you do that on the side?
What?
Glenn's interpretive services, dream interpretations.
Because people sometimes, I don't know, people want to hear what they want to hear, to be honest. You know what I mean? But it's more simplistic than that, I think. It doesn't have to be really complicated.
So how are you sleeping at the minute yourself?
I'm sleeping a wee bit better from I've been on them sertralings.
And what about again, we can't really probably go into too much detail because I'm sure you've some sort of contract signed or whatnot.
Well,
but you've some projects in the pipeline. They're very exciting. How are they looking?
With BBC, yes. I have to do something brand new, Dave, and I think people are going to love it. They're going to really, really, really love it, to be honest.
Very exciting.
I'm very nervous, but I'm very excited.
So how do you feel then that the amount of, say, podcasts and things you've been doing has given you a wee bit of
confidence
and confidence for it?
Yes, definitely.
Yeah.
I think I do need to maybe come into the comedic world a wee bit. I can make you laugh, I know I can. You know what I mean? That could be part of my healing. You know what I mean?
Just slagging people?
Why not? You know what I mean? You have to give them something.
And how do you feel? That's a good question actually for you. How do you feel since you've been getting more into the media side of things, doing the podcast, having a pilot in BBC and other shows like that?
I love it.
Have you felt your desire towards psychicship, mediumship and things has waned, or do you feel like you just
always love
like
readings? And the funny thing is, if I say I worked in Tesco's, if I went to work in Tesco's, the spirit part and the psychic stuff starts going on more and more. It's just because I'm practicing it every single day. It's like painting the same picture every single day. Sometimes you want to do something different, like not paint anything, like play an instrument, for example. You want to do something different, and that's just really all it is. I crave like creativity. I crave like different things to do, and honestly, it'll always be a big part of my life. However, I don't want to be a messianic figure. It's not up to me to fix anybody's life. I've gave enough. I've gave 10 years. What do you want me to do? Fucking wait in heaven for you and show you, right, you go that way. So, well, see if it keeps going, I'm going to be slaving right into the afterlife. Helping you when you get there too. Oh, go that way. Or go down that way there. You'll love it. It's very warm.
So do you feel a wee bit like it's like you just need to have a bit more time for Glenn to explore other things?
Yes, definitely. Because if I didn't have a sense of humour, and I wasn't here, say I was a normal person without ADHD, I don't think I could cope doing readings all the time. It would be too upsetting.
Have you found, has it got any worse as you've got older? Do you find like, do you ever like, because I know obviously in my old job there's days I come home and be like, this is just fucking melting my head, I can't cope with this anymore. Or is there ever days, because I imagine with readings to begin with it's all very exciting.
It's the days when the phone doesn't stop. It's the days when people are like messaging me halfway through the night. It's all of it really. It is all of it. Me, 99999, and that's exactly the way people are. And everywhere I go people wants me to say something, and I'm really at the point where I'm afraid. Like on the radio a couple of weeks ago with Frank, and I love Frank. Frank was like any predictions, and I bit my tongue. Like I said to my dad, I didn't want to say Sinead O'Connor's going to die or blah blah blah. I didn't want to say it. Also, I bit my tongue. I'm scared.
Yeah, because then that puts you opens you for scrutiny too, doesn't it?
It's not scrutiny really. It's just I don't want to be right. I don't want to all of a sudden be, because then what everybody does, start listening to what, and guess what?
Yeah.
Listen if you want to listen. Don't if you don't. I actually could not care.
Have you heard of Baba Vanga?
No.
Baba Vanga, I think, is a woman, let me tell you.
Baba Vanga.
She's an old lady. She was like a blind old woman who like predicted so many things. Baba Vanga, I think she was called. Here we is, right? Her name's actually Evangelia Pandiva Gushtarova, but she's also known as Baba Vanga. Is she from
Russia?
She's from Bulgaria, which was under the Russian Soviet state, yeah, back in the day. She was a Bulgarian mystic and herbalist. Blind since childhood, Baba Vanga spent most of her life in the Rupti areas of the Kazoo Mountains in Bulgaria. So there she is.
Busted my eardrum, by the way. That one.
Doing what?
I was cleaning it out with the cotton bud, and boom, and now all I can hear is white noise, and honestly it's the volume is really low down in it, and I think my radio would be my stronger ear. So like now I can hardly hear.
At least you're on the left ear here. I'm going to look at Baba Vanga predictions. So,
but she was blind.
Do you think that has any?
Well, there was a girl here before. I think her name was Sharon actually, and she was blind, I think, too, and she had no arms. And I think there was another girl actually was shuffling and all with her feet before.
Shuffling what?
The cards, tarot cards, because she was
With her
blind.
feet?
Because she was like, she had no
Then how
arms.
can she know what card comes out? That would be a talent.
It's all
Let's
different
see.
readers, like.
Oh, come on, give me some. But why is there never just a list of predictions that has come true? Baba Vanga's, because I don't want to hear her predictions for 2023. Now, she died in 1996, so I don't know how she's winging this, but it'll probably tell you some of her old. It's you know what I do think, Sly, that they have to describe her as a blind clairvoyant.
Yeah.
You know, just call her, you know. But the blind clairvoyant claimed to have visions during her lifetime when she went blind as a child. In 96, she died at the age of 84. However, her prophecies live on. 2 of her predictions came through in 2022 when she had foreseen water-related tragedies in the form of floods and droughts. So she says a biological attack will be launched by a developed country in 2023, she says. And then obviously your mate Putin's there. So she said there'll be nuclear war in 2023. She said that there'll be a solar tsunami, which where the Earth's magnetic shield will be fatally destroyed. So
Well,
there you go. She says there'll be an alien attack. I mean, I think she's basically just winging it a bit and saying, and she says there'll be a first human baby cloned. What do you think of that?
wonder who's going to be cloned first.
Maybe this is it. You said there about no one's figured out how the babies and the women and the blah blah blah.
Well, this is it.
So maybe that's Baba Vanga's way. I need a list of her predictions that have come true. I feel like I'm a spoofing you here, Glenn.
Baba Vanga.
Would this be something you would get into? Like if you heard about someone like this, would you look into it?
If it resonated with me, yeah. If I
Um,
felt the connection with it.
that came true. Let me see what's happened so far. Just tell me one she's predicted this year. I don't care. I want to know that she predicted 9/11. That's one thing that she did that was like, what? This is balls. They just want to tell me what's going to happen in Look up Baba Vanga.
Baba Vanga.
Yeah, look her up. She foresaw 9/11. Right, okay. So it's going to this will give me something now. This is many speculate that she predicted the death of Princess Diana, Brexit, and 9/11. There you go. And her visions are said to be 85% correct. Many believe she predicted Chernobyl, the death of Diana, and plenty more. There you go. I mean, I think all her predictions are pretty much negative, though. Is that
And
something
you
you
just wonder
believe?
why you don't want me to open my mouth. Why I don't want to open my mouth.
Is that something you believe is a case?
It's
that
true,
people
like
can just
really, like
see?
what you're on a downward spiral to decline from the second you're born. What could be positive?
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
I saw something on the internet yesterday, and I want to put it to you to see what you would say. It was, would you rather go back to you were 10 years old and know what you know now, or would you rather fast forward to you were 50 and then have 50 million in the bank?
Go back to was 10 and know what I know now.
And what would you do with that knowledge?
I maybe would have been a bit better in school. I would have maybe behaved more and became a doctor or something.
But you could have gone, if you know what you know now, Glenn.
I would have maybe started being really psychic really early and just believing in it.
That's what I was going to say. You could go back and be psychic early, but then you would know what happened. So people would be like, oh, it's unbelievable what he knows.
I know. And then my life wouldn't be my own. You know what I mean?
True. Because I look at that.
Sometimes I think all I exist for is these readings. The only people want me for is readings and my magic, that's it. No fucking interest in anything else, Dave.
Well, the people, I like your humour, Glenn. I like your banter.
You're different.
You know?
But sometimes all them psychic ones, all they want is me, no.
Do you think the people that are after readings and things like that, do you think they are vulnerable people? And do they?
No, not
do you know what I mean?
always.
Not
No,
always.
sometimes they're actually the most smartest, most fierce people in the world, and that's the problem. Sometimes their own fierceness gets them, and they need someone's not in the equation to tell them.
Because the way you're saying there now, it sounds to me like.
No, I love it. Like I do love it, but it's like Groundhog Day. It's like,
But it's like
all
kids.
right.
You know what I mean?
Like people travel from all over, and I swear to God, I don't even understand it. It's like, hold on a minute.
But people like my kids will be like daddy, and sometimes you're like, I know, can I have a break? Is it like that a bit?
A wee bit.
So you
aye.
love it?
I
Like
love
kids,
it, but I
also
still
they melt you a wee
don't
bit?
understand it. In a sense, I don't understand what the big.
So obviously, as well, in the last year, you've had some higher profile.
It's people want me and they want me right now. It's that type of energy.
Yeah.
They don't just want me right now. And I'm like that. I always believe if you feel like you're meant to get a reading on a certain day and you feel it that day, try and get a reading. I swear I'm really a believer, because if you leave it then you'll not get a reading. It's weird.
Yeah.
And I like that and I try to accommodate that, but sometimes I have to be asleep like in the middle of the night. What else would I be doing?
Who knows?
You know what I mean? It's the people that message in the middle of the night, all these fucking messages, blah, 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 and you reply to them during the day and you get nothing back.
Maybe because they're sleeping themselves. Because they've been up all night torturing you.
Yeah, wakey fucking wakey. Know what I mean?
So, see with the more high, like, so you've got some high profile clients in the
High
last wee
profile
while.
clients, yes.
Is that more a recent thing? Do you think
Vicky
that's...
Gumbelson's probably the biggest.
And
to
she
be
is,
honest.
for those that don't know, she is...
Real Housewives of Orange County. She started, it was actually her family that started it all. It was. She was the very first person on it, and she spawned, she's just come back from the girls' trip, by the way.
Yeah.
I predicted that her and Gretchen would be back on screen together, and Gretchen hasn't been on in 8 years, and Gretchen was on the girls' trip. I predicted it. If you want me to go on and read Housewives, you need to contact Evolution USA. If you go onto my Instagram and you go under who I'm following, go and mail Evolution and tell them to get me on. Because it's Evolution we need to talk to.
Tell me this.
Get on.
With them and things along those lines, how did that come about? How did she hear of your
She
work?
had seen something that had been tagged by the Sun, the Irish Sun, where Zach Peter was tagged, and because Housewives was a hashtag, she had somehow seen it. But I'd obviously messaged her and all over the years and said different things, and then boom. She always was reading my messages anyway. She always was like, I can remember years ago she replied to me through email, like, but now it's like we're friends, I've got her number, and
Nice.
she always talks to me when she's in an airport. Vicky, you do. Anytime I talk to you, love, you're in an airport or you're on a plane.
I think that's maybe because she's travelling.
It's just because when she gets time to look at her phone, and I always joke and I always say, well, angels have the gift of flight, dear.
There you go. And is that maybe something for 2023 for Glenn to maybe?
I
head out to
would
the States?
love to go over there and read them. I would. I think it'd be a gig, like, definitely. And then I know the producers like all that, like they do, because they've had Rebecca Fearing on and they've had that other girl, Alison Dubois, on. You just need to get Psychic Glenn on from Europe. Hello.
Who's Rebecca?
Rebecca Fearing is a very, 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 very good medium, actually. She's very, very good. But I would say we're quite alike the way we work, to be really, really honest. And she's been on a few of, she's been on Orange County and she's been on Beverly Hills too.
And what makes a good medium? For those that don't know, like what? Because again, to me, you either have
The ability
or
to
you don't.
execute what's going on correctly and the ability to say it.
But are there people who have mediumship skills but don't maybe have personal skills to talk to people, or like?
There are some mediums out there, they'll stand and they'll tell you your loved one's doing this and doing that, blah, 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 but they couldn't tell you what colour knickers you're wearing. They couldn't tell you what you did last night. And they couldn't fucking tell you what you're going to do next week. It's all about dead. Wakey, wakey, love, I'm alive. And so are you.
Do you know what colour pants I'm wearing? Do you know what colour pants I'm wearing?
Black.
Correct.
Ba, ba, ba.
There you go.
I can. I really, really, really can. See everything.
Imagine you just told people that you had X-ray eyes.
God help. I have a wee friend, my friend's wee brother. God help him. Last night he says to me, Glenn, my arch is sore. And I says, what is the matter? And I says, it's a hemorrhoid. I says, it's hemorrhoids. I says, it's happened. I says, did your mummy give you a suppository? And he said, I says, you have to push it back in. I says, son, I'm not being funny. You have to push it back in. Just push it in. I says, it's all to do with fibre. Chas says, push it back fucking in. How do you know all this? How do you know? I says, because I fucking know I've got a human body. And I says, and by the way, you want to trim them fucking pubes too? He says, how do you know that? And I was like, fucking, know what I mean?
Oh, dearie me.
Daddy of mankind, that's playing.
But no, hemorrhoids is something I've thank goodness not experienced so far. Or
Evolution Media,
piles.
message them now and tell them. Andy Cohen, Vicky Gumbelson wants me on. She does, and I love her. And I'm not going to stop till she's wearing the crown. You need to do something, or the ratings. Orange County's going to get cancelled.
What about
Cancelled.
Potomac? Do you like that one?
No, do not. I'm sorry. I only really, really love Orange County.
What about
I love
Glasgow?
Beverly Hills even more now. I do, but I'm not really. I did like New York. I loved Sydney. Sydney was a fucking scream, but they cancelled it after one season because they said it was too toxic.
Yeah, but that's what you like though.
You're a pop plant. It was brilliant. Really
Is that an
brilliant.
insult in it that they call it?
Well, they call it Melissa Katz a pop plant, but I don't even know if that's even offensive.
But I imagine
A pop plant is a beautiful woman, but isn't very smart.
A pot plant would just sit there and do nothing though, wouldn't it? And then get watered on. I don't know if that means peached on or not.
Sit and be pretty. They're a gay click. But I think them shows emulate goddess energy. For a long time, the women weren't allowed out of the house. They weren't allowed to speak, and now they're going fucking crazy on them shows. And that's why I just think it's good.
Do you think that's wild though?
No, my granny would be lucky to work in a mill when she was young, and Nurse Vicky's only 20 years younger and is a CEO.
And speaking of your nanny, how's she doing? How are the needs?
Dave, she's great. I don't know what we were thinking, mobilising her again.
Yeah.
But she's doing great. The pain has left her face.
Yeah.
But she's not real. She hasn't phoned me now in a couple of days. You see, she hasn't phoned me at all. Why? Because the last conversation we had was, Granny, my eardrum is busted. I can't tear out of it. And I haven't heard that from her. Not a dicky bird.
Why is she giving you peace, or just why?
Well, I don't know why she's giving me peace, or she hasn't rang me, because then it'll be, never mind your ear, I didn't even hear that. You didn't say it. You haven't got a sore ear. You're not deaf, blah, blah, blah. My knee, I was rushed into hospital and blah, blah, blah. It's still sore, son.
And doesn't she get you to do her groceries and all for her?
Well, I take my grand out. I do. I take him out. And I go down and do a bit of cleaning for them. But she's a gag, like, she's
What's your granddad like to do? Where do you take him?
My granddad's a pigeon man, normally, and he used to raise pigeons for a long, long time, but he did give them up a couple of years ago. I just took him down to Iceland. And they'll not let you do nothing for them. Honest to God, they'll not let you do nothing. They'll not take nothing.
Yeah.
It's fucking wild. Like,
See Catherine's granddad, he goes out with her granny's brother once a week, just for 1 pint. That's it. Nothing more, nothing less. 1 pint and a chat. And I like that. I like the idea. See,
I couldn't go out for one.
I like simple things. You know, that's me. I like to go out, have 1 pint. That's like I'm going to go out for dinner on Saturday, and I'm going for a pint of my favourite beer in my favourite pub, and that's what I'm most excited about.
Are you only allowed out for one?
No, I'll have a few. I'll see how I feel. You know what? Because I don't mind not drinking. You know, I like drinking all right, but if I don't, I still have a nice time. You know what I mean? I still enjoy myself.
Drinking.
So I just think I used to be big into drinking. I loved it every weekend that I've been on it. Had a great time about it. Then you have kids and you realise they have no respect for a hangover. You've shit to do. You don't stop. So
better off having a wee smoke. So you are.
Yeah. But then the last time I had a smoke, all my clothes just stuck to me and made me really uncomfortable, and I hated it.
Well,
I've never had a good experience while smoking the reefer.
It maybe was the wrong strain. You maybe need an indica rather than a sativa.
See, I don't know. What's the difference?
The sativa would make you paranoid, a sativa, but an indica would make you relaxed.
So I always thought it just made you relaxed and have a nice time.
There's all these different strains and brands and fucking, I don't even know. It's years ago, it just used to be a bit of dope, that was it.
Yeah.
1 block of dope, you didn't have to worry about strain, fucking. Cause I'll not smoke shit stuff like all that.
Yeah. But then that's...
And I crack up, too. I fucking crack up. I go, what the fuck's this you've handed me? The wee hoods are starting there, right mate, honestly. And I go, what the fuck you think you're doing?
You're deafening people.
I swear I have him.
Calm.
The wee lad I do say, he's lovely, he's wee right. I says to him, see you wee fucking surty. Where's my smoke? Yes, he's lovely, he's a wee right. Like.
And what do you like? Do you like a resin or do you like a...
I like a wee smoke. I like a wee spliff at night. Like I definitely do. It allows me to... See, if I didn't smoke it, I really would have psychic word vomit. I really would be running around everybody and anybody and just fucking telling them boom it. But it allows me to go, Glenn, second, what you're going to say, think about it. Then, calm.
A wee filter? So it's
a filter. A buffer, I like to call it. A buffer between me and them.
You know what I imagine as well? Obviously, I've not been to your house yet. I think at some point I'll have to call around. But I imagine your house is quite a fragrant house. I imagine there's a lot of smells going about.
I do have a lot of smellies. I do. I really do. I get them wee smelly things, and I swear I know what I love? The Fab wipes. If any of you haven't smelled Fab wipes, get Fab wipes. Know what I love as well? Fabulosa. I love that. I love them designer fragrances. See if you get the Savoy one, it's the same as fucking...
Do you do like wee candles and burners and all?
Well, I try not. I've always candles lit, like, but I try not to burn incense really in the house, but I'll do it in my hall, really.
Because Holly just smells of your oil now. So she does. She wears it every night.
She?
I told her, you see, that it helped her sleep at night.
See, and it does.
And she does, puts it on. So she comes in the morning, I'm like, you smell like Glenn.
Well, it'll calm her down. It'll calm her right down, honestly.
But she loves it. So she does.
Magic oils are good. See, smells and things. Smells can really, like...
Because how does that affect, say, for any skeptics out there that would be like, balls, that oils don't do anything, how do they have an effect? And then we'll talk about crystals, because we need to have a chat.
Well, the wee crystals are all in the bottle. Yeah. You look at it, you shake it, it's a wee bit of and the fact that you apply that to the self, it's a wee bit of self-love in the bottle, that's all it is.
Yeah.
And it can be very soothing. It can be, like, say you've got a court date or you've something, or a wee fucking flick of the wrist. I'm going to have to bring it out again and get some down for you all.
You need to say an interview, Glenn, not a court date. Going for job interviews, something stressful.
Deposition.
A date. First date. Blind date.
A kiss and a bit of a fondle.
Yeah.
A quick bang in the backside.
There you go. You need to have Glenn's oil for that. Does it double up as lube?
Well, I wouldn't put it inside Dana. Somebody wanted to smoke it before and I said don't. I says, don't be at that.
Smoke what, the anise or the oil?
The oil. I put it on, and I swear to God, like well over 100 bottles sold.
Mm-hmm.
Here's me, all right. Calm yourselves. I can't have nothing.
Mm-hmm. Get it on.
Honestly.
But you need to explain to me how crystals work, because that's something I've...
Crystals vibrate
in.
at a very high frequency. That's why they're rock hard, because they really vibrate at a high frequency. And it is said that a crystal vibrates and was inside the earth and found its way to you. There's a possibility that you were the crystal, because when you think about how things are fossilized, like the crystal that you hold in your hand may once have been you in a previous life.
Now tell me this. I asked you advice. I
But
said...
your eyes are crystalline.
Because I said, is that why you get wee crumbs in them?
You do, you've crystalline eyes.
Because I said, we were out for lunch one day last week.
And see the grass you smoke, it's the crystals. It fucking is. And it's a female. Out here, it's a female plant. You can't smoke the male.
Mm-hmm.
The male plant's useless.
Story of our lifestyle, isn't it?
Useless, but it's only the female plant that you can actually smoke, and it's crystals.
But we were out for lunch last week, right? And we walked past
I believe the
shop.
fucking grinders like a UFO.
Grinder?
Yes, they're fucking crystals and said it's aliens. 420 aliens. Ooh.
Anyway, we were out for lunch last week, and there was a new crystal shop open, and I texted you, I said, Glenn, what would you recommend buying? Straight away, he said...
Citrine quartz.
Citrine quartz. I said, why? And you were like, it'll encourage wealth.
It'll encourage wealth and encourage money. If you put it in your purse or you put it here where your work is, or in your...
Yeah.
If you have a shop, put it inside your cash register. Just place it somewhere.
Because the one working in the shop, did a couple of things that I found, like, eye-opening.
Mm-hmm.
So I went and she goes to me, I got one for me, because... I'm a housewife and need to be the main breadwinner. Sign up to the Patreon. And Catherine is the breadwinner now with her business and her boss bitch lifestyle. So I got her a wee one too. This is for a new business.
Yep.
And the woman goes to me, do you want these cleansed? And I went, in my head, well, I mean, I don't want dirty stuff. So yeah, I thought you get a wipe out and give it away.
Mm.
She just went.
Put her energy into it.
But then she goes to me, something wrong with your chest. And I went, what? Or she actually didn't even say it. She just said chest. And I went, what? She goes, something wrong with your chest. And I went, what do you mean, my heart? And she went, no, your lungs. And I went, what do you mean? And she goes, there was. And she goes, but it's healed now. And I COVID the week before, so...
I know you are coughing a lot, Dave.
But I don't have COVID anymore, Glenn. I'm okay. I'm just over a wee cold.
Carvonia.
You know, so I'm good. I actually feel, that for the first time in months, healthy again. I feel good and strong.
We're
ready,
striving for greatness.
ready to pump. I'm going to pump some iron today, Glenn.
Pump some
Work
asshole
out.
when you go home.
There you go. But what I will say is, so she gave me that, and that was grand. But then what she also said, she goes, no, you don't charge it in the sunlight. Only idiots would do that. You put it out in the
Moonlight.
full moon. And what is the difference between a full moon and the sunlight, and why does that have an impact on it?
Well, they like lunar energy more for some reason. I find they like lunar energy more. Sunlight burns things out. You only put something in sunlight if you want to sanitize it or drain it of its power, really. If it's a solid object, really. It's like if you put anything out in the sun, eventually even your car, it will wash the paint off it. It will eventually make the paint wear away, the sunlight will. Sun is like an antiseptic. It's like a fucking...
Mm-hmm.
As your crystals don't need that, they need the lunar energy, which would control your tides and everything. It's a satellite, really.
Is that why you're always buggered if you lie in the sun too long? For a day?
I believe too that if you have darker skin, you can process more. You have the ability to download information from the sun a lot more because your body's a lot more tolerable. It's where if you have pale skin, you don't.
You strike me as someone who could tan well.
Well, only
summer
because I've
holidays.
changed my skin type to allow me to tan, because I'm naturally pale.
Mm-hmm.
Completely naturally pale.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Because I've only known
My
you as
parents
tan.
aren't tan, like.
No.
I'm just swarthy because of sunbeds and because of tan
You
injections.
strike me
and-
as somebody who should live in a hot climate.
Well,
I could see you
it's
living
too
in like
warm.
Spain or
It's
Portugal
too
or
warm.
somewhere.
One of my friends are in Valencia. My Russian friends who went in exile over the war, they're in Valencia, and they've invited me down for a couple of days.
You gonna go?
Maybe if I can get back. I can't find my passport. I'm gonna have to get sorted out.
Is that the passport? Because didn't you have your Russian passport? Do you still have it?
I had a Russian visa, yeah, but it was on my passport. But I'm sure it's missing.
Do you think there's dark arts at play, or have you just misplaced it?
No, I just misplaced it
There we
somewhere,
go.
but I don't know where.
Couple of questions, because I know I'll let you go because you're a busy man today.
Yes.
You got a new bed coming, and that's
Tomorrow.
that's a big thing.
7 or 8 bags of clothes. Took to the dump 2 TV units, a chest of drawers. I honestly don't know what the fuck I was thinking. Holding all that stuff, like stuff from years ago. I literally was like, goodbye. Said goodbye to everything. Fucked it out.
Right, Naomi has said this is for your next ghost hunt.
Yes.
Okay, and she said Irish paranormal hunters are left astonished. Hold on, I'm gonna have to accept these. All these bloody cookies everywhere. Where are we? Irish paranormal ghost hunters left astonished after capturing ghost on camera at 300-year-old castle. Now, they don't look like ghost hunters, they look like paramilitaries to me.
Yep. Where's the castle?
It is a child ghost at Duckett's Grove last week. The group known as the Paranormal Supernatural Investigations Group. I mean, they should have thought longer and harder about the name of the group for sure. Were given permission to investigate the magnificent location. Let me try and find a photo of it, because if we're going to go there, Glenn, we need to... Oh, so there's apparently the photo of the child.
You know, say if you're doing ghost hunting and you're going home at night and you can't stop thinking about it and you're still, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. I would say to you, excuse me, mate, you're possessed.
And that's something you think has happened?
It's something I know.
What do you think about us,
I can go
Glenn?
home at night and I can just fucking...
Had to cut that out. Glenn said something libelous. So let's get back and see. Next question. Marcus said, as the proclaimed king of North Down, that's me, by the way, just in case you get above yourself, do you believe that your outspoken opposition to the coastal redevelopment was the real reason that the council decided to shelve the plans? I will say, do you know this story?
No.
The council in North Down wanted to redevelop a coastal path from Hollywood to Donegal.
Yeah.
And I wanted to widen it, and I wanted to put concrete down everywhere. They wanted to kill the
And
environment.
did you open your mouth?
I gave off about it. I went to I went to council protests. I stood outside with the people.
Yeah.
And I put it on my social media and I said,
Oh my God,
I'm
yeah,
against
they'll have
it.
to listen to you.
And it stopped. So
It's like, I know if I want something done too, I could put it out there and boom, it gets done. Like my granny's knee, for example. Thank you.
Yeah.
Whoever it was, because I know.
There we go. And I do.
Honestly,
you know
really,
what?
thank you, swear, thank you.
I don't think I necessarily was the reason it happened. But the same way as I said.
Dave, I think you need to go for alderman.
Yeah, I mean.
I think you should by now.
Glenn, they would just listen to one episode of my podcast and be cancelled forever.
They might go, he's great.
I'm sure a lot of people do look at us and go, he's great, but for a different way, because I am great.
Dave's multi-talented.
But I just couldn't cope with the melters, you know what I mean? I couldn't cope with it. J Red has said, if you could choose a US celeb to be a personal psychic to, who would you want it to be and why?
Who would I want it to be and why? A US celeb that I would like to be a psychic to. Well, Pamela Anderson. Actually, I watched your documentary last night, Pamela, and honestly, I love the fact that you love being in love, and it reminds me so much of me. I really feel that way as well sometimes. It's just...
Is she back in love, is she?
No, but I understand her a lot. Like, Tommy Lee was the lover of her life, and you know, and I get it. Like, I would like to read her. I would like to read a lot of the housewives. I would like to read. Who else would I like to read?
Any guys? Because I know you gravitate more towards reading women. Any fellas? Would you read Donald Trump?
Don't know if Donald Trump would listen to me.
Don't think he listens to anybody.
Don't know actually about me. Andy Cohen, yeah, I'd see me make it into a short, and tag them all, I swear, because if I get into that Bravo word.
Who's Andy Cohen again?
Andy Cohen is the king of Bravo. He's the main presenter and he's like the CEO of it.
Is he a producer and owner?
He's a producer as well, yeah.
Nice.
He does watch What Happens Live.
Yeah.
I need to be the Belfast Andy Cohen.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And last question, which is a good one. James had asked, what is next for Psychic Glenn?
James, who?
Just James.
Who's James? What is next for
I don't know,
Psychic
his
Glenn?
name's just James.
Psychic Glenn has just signed on the dotted line with BBC to do something brand new. It's going to be for Radio Ulster. But the final part may be on iPlayer, but you're going to love it. Mr. Elliott's had a massive influence in it. I do believe that Dave will be a part of this project as well. However, it just all hasn't been all the way yet.
But past that, what are the goals and targets for Psychic Glenn for
this year? My goals for this year really are to be more confident and just speak more. And like last year in podcasts, I feel I was very, very nervous. This year, I'm up for anything. I'm up for everything, and that's really it. Really, I'm not. I don't know. I'm getting a business manager as well. I'm not going to lie. I'm going to get the help of a business manager to deal with all of that side, because I'm not a very good businessman at all, and I'm not meant to be a Donald Trump. See, if I was a Donald Trump, I'd be Hitler, and I'm not meant to be that.
I mean this for love, Glenn. I couldn't imagine you being hands-on with the business side, because
No,
I know I'm not.
I'm really, really not. In fact, I hate it. I hate even that side of it. I just
what about
melt.
like? Because what I find is Catherine looks after a lot of my business.
Yeah.
Would that be something you maybe?
Well, I've thought about this, Glenn. Why do you not take a wife? But just the way the cookie crumbles, which one would I choose?
Exactly.
No,
You're a
man.
man and demand, Glenn. As always, it's been a pleasure chatting to you. Is there
Dave,
anything?
it's been great to be here.
Is there anything you want to plug or anything you want to? Where can people find you? If they haven't
Follow
already?
my socials at Psychic Glenn. There's a lot happening soon. And honestly, I'm going to be really out of my comfort zone. I'm going to be doing something brand new and doing the pack of lands, really. You're going to love it.
Are you going to be releasing any more?
Dave,
awards?
I'm like cream. I always rise to the top.
But as you said earlier, you don't like cream in and around your face and mouth.
Well, See, he really doesn't know. Dave's awful good. See, if you weren't with her, Dave, mean you could have run away into the sunset.
I know.
Run away into the foliage down at Crawfordsburn.
I know. But listen, Glenn, no harm to you. If I'm turning down Rihanna in my dreams, you know, I
Well,
think
this is it, you see.
there we are. So listen, it's been
Yeah,
a
but it
pleasure.
happened like this anyway. You'd have put one bit of the tongue in the ass and you'd have woke up. It's
I know.
always the way in the dream. You get right up to doing it and then it's like, fuck.
And then you're sad
And
for
it's
the day.
usually somebody you fucking hate too. I used to dream about these wee lads that bullied me in school. No, and like,
What was happening in those dreams?
well, I don't even know because it's weird. You can fancy somebody in a dream that you don't even like in life, and it's like, ugh, what
And
the
then,
fuck's going on?
but does that make it weird the next time you see them in your head? You're like, do I fancy it? And then they talk.
Well, I like being disciplined a wee bit.
Oh, so
It doesn't really happen, does it?
You were getting spanked by these boys. Is that what's going on?
Well,
Tune in next time.
nobody
to find
tells
out
me
more.
what to do, but when they do,
You like it.
yes, sometimes.
Psychic Glenn, everybody.
I'm the sly guy.